Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vedyadravitam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Bhadram Karnebi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Jatraha Sthiraya Rangai Stushtuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti Na Indro Vridhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwaredaha Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So where are we in our text?
Chapter 3, number 43.
Chapter 3, number 43. Anybody have a page number of that?
Page 290.
290.
Should I start?
Please.
Dukkham sarva munasmritya kama bhogani vartayet ajam sarvam anusmritya jatam naiva tu pashyati. Turn the mind back from the enjoyment of pleasures in the growing conviction that the sense objects are ever riddled with misery. The created duality will not intrude upon our perception if we consistently reflect upon Brahman, which is unborn, changeless.
So, the topic under discussion, this is not for the A++ yogis. The A++ yogis, the, what do they call it? AP, advanced placement, are the yogis for whom understanding and experience come together at the same time, who realize the self at the moment of hearing, whose minds merge into samadhi, and then they return with complete, full realization. People like Ramana Maharshi. Story, you know, that he heard about the death of a schoolmate. And he was obsessed with death, came home and was thinking, who dies? Oh, well, I'm going to act it out. He lays down on the floor, goes through a process of about a half an hour, is at the age of 16 and realizes the self deeply and profoundly. So the subject under consideration is for those of middling intellects or even not too bright, for whom control of the mind is necessary for the realization of the self. So what we have here are basically instructions on how to meditate. They're very good. So let's take this particular karika and break it down. So the first idea, please.
Turn the mind back from enjoyment of pleasures in the growing conviction that the sense objects are ever riddled with misery.
So in the beginning, we talk about how sense objects are riddled with misery. What does that mean? How can a good meal be misery? How can good music be misery? This doesn't seem to make sense. It depends on our level of understanding. So, what is my misery? Most of us think I'm unhappy because I don't have what I want. Either the world's not enough or I'm not enough. Now listen carefully. So the process is, we've talked about this, first comes the veil of ignorance, of Ananashakti, the non-apprehension of my essential nature. No blame. In Christianity, in the Orthodox tradition, we call it original sin. Then comes the Vikshepa Shakti, the projecting power of the mind. What does the mind project? What's the first thought that the mind projects?
I'm my body. I'm a person.
I'm a person, I'm a my body. Yes, Jiva Bhavana, my belief that I'm a person. That condition is inherently accompanied by a feeling of incompleteness. Sometimes I like to use the term, it's spiritual impoverishment. I'm not enough, there's not enough. Then almost immediately it projects a goal and projects struggle. I'll be happy when, it'll be better if. And most of us run around in this low grade condition of restlessness, of discontent. And we live with it so constantly, we don't realize how unhappy we are with it. The mind thinks, if I'm more, better, different, or if the world is more, better, different, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And we project this joy-giving quality outside. So I go after the objects of the senses, and it's serious business. And I'm all upset if I'm not getting what I want. And what Gaudapada is saying is, if we analyze it, best case scenario, I get what I want. And then you have what we call the law of diminishing return. So you go buy a new car. Ooh, my shiny new car. But after you've had it for 6 months or a year, it's just the car. You know? It's not the same kind of juice that it had when you drove it off the out of the showroom. And then somebody takes their key and scratches the door. Or some very expensive part falls off. Oh my God, $5,000 to fix the car. Because it's the nature of the world that it's impermanent, that it's changing. You open the restaurant. Oh, I'm a restaurateur. 5 years later, oh, I gotta go to work today. Sound familiar?
Mhm. Yeah.
You eat one chocolate. After 10 of them, whoa. The law of diminishing return. So the yogi begins to see that it's not that the sense objects are inherently bad or evil. It's the phenomena of craving that is my suffering. It's attachment, it's identification, it's craving. Now that's in the outside is the attachment. So somebody comes along and says, oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so nice. Oh, you're so pretty or handsome. Oh, really? You just drink it. And then one says, oh, is that gray hair new? Oh, your hair's getting thin, isn't it? Oh, aging. Oh, wrinkles. Well, maturity looks good on you. Want to smack up. You've put on a little weight, haven't you, dear? This sound familiar? How do you feel? Ooh. Now, I don't know whether you gals go through this. Gay men certainly do. You hit about 40, 45, and you hit what I call the age of invisibility. I hear you laughing. Guys, it's not quite so much. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're 20, 25, guys, you look good. Not that you want to sleep with them all, but you like the attention, don't you?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they quit looking. Then you go get the Botox, you know, and facelift. Push-up bra. All that stuff. At least you don't have to wear girdles anymore. The women wear girdles anymore.
Well, they wear Spanx, which is sort of that. It's just not a corset. It's very tight lycra or something like that.
Yeah. For what? Then of course you run into Jim. Oh, Jim, I'm aging. This is happening and that's happening. And what do I say? Oh, don't worry, dear. It gets worse. But the whole idea, this is the world. It's not bad. It's not evil. It's just if I live from the viewpoint that it's the world that's going to give me peace, happiness, serenity, I'm a fool.
Jim, can a lot of this be in the unconscious?
Yes. And is that Stephen over there?
Yeah.
Yes. So you just did what, a 30-day retreat?
Right.
And you were talking about the unloading of the unconscious, right?
Right.
This is what meditation does. It makes the unconscious conscious. That's one of the things that happens. So that's one of the values of it. This is one of the values of psychotherapy. A good therapist will help you make the unconscious conscious. Now, that's not the answer to the problem.
Right.
It's mature renunciation.
Mhm.
But we don't have real mature renunciation without vipassana. Was this a vipassana retreat, Stephen?
Not particularly, no. And there had combinations going on, but it was not totally.
So in Pali, we call it vipassana. In the Sanskrit, it's vipassana. Drish pashyati is the verb, which means to see. Vipassana is insight. We slow down enough, we pay attention enough to see what's going on. Let me give you a worldly example. I have a sometime student. She's Indian and she's gluten sensitive. She actually has celiac disease, very rare in Indians. And for 25 years, she went from doctor to doctor to doctor and program to program to figure out what's wrong with my tummy. And then they say, oh, it's because you're crazy. It's all in your head. Well, no, it wasn't. She is deeply allergic to gluten. So it was insight into what the problem was that changed her life. Now, was she able to give up donuts overnight? Probably not. Wheat pasta, oh, it's so good, you know. But when she'd eat it, she'd have a tummy ache. So she learned what was the cause of the suffering. Making sense?
Yeah.
So that's only a grossified form of what we need to do when we really begin to see what it is that's causing my unhappiness. Then we begin to develop the desire to be free from desire. This is called vairagya. That desire to give up attachment to all experiences gained through the senses. Doesn't mean to give up experiences gained through the senses. We can't do that. Once you're sound asleep or in samadhi, you're going to perceive a phenomenal world. But the perception of the world is not the problem. Let me give you another example. Who here drove to class this morning? Okay. Do you know what the sound of your car alarm sounds like for your car?
I think so.
So if a car alarm started to go off outside and you knew it wasn't your car, you'd probably go, oh, it's too bad. Somebody may have gotten their car broken into or something like that. You'd be aware of it, but not a big deal. But if the car alarm went off and you could tell just by where it was coming from and the tone of the car alarm that it was your car, how would you feel? Oh my God, someone break into my car and I'll go downstairs and see. So what's the issue?
It's mine.
I-ness and mine. I-ness and mine. So it's this deep insight into what's the cause of my suffering. Ignorance tells me I'm suffering because I'm not getting what I want. Yoga says I'm suffering because I'm stuck wanting. So read that first idea again, and then we'll go on to the next idea.
Turn the mind back from the enjoyment of pleasures in the growing conviction that the sense objects are ever riddled with misery.
Yeah. So we start letting it go. And I think I've told many of you this before. When I was doing my sadhana in the ashram, my nickname for my mind was Mudha. What's Mudha mean? Fool. There I am wanting again. For me, the big one, because I was young, I was 27, was lust. So repetitive, bored, and boring. Over and over again for what? And whatever it is, I want attention, I want to make money. And you watch yourself stuck wanting, and it's so painful, and it's so repetitive. Who got upset this week? Tell me it's the first time you felt this.
First ever.
You know, just the names and faces change. It's the same damn situation. Aren't you tired of it? And it's like Lucy with the football. Oh no, Charlie Brown, I won't move the football this year. And he comes running and smack. Go ahead.
No.
And there's one of the definitions of insanity. You may have heard this one: doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. What will we do? All right, next idea,
Oh, wait, before,
please.
so you say, I see what you're talking about. How do you do it? How do you?
Let go. Let go. It's an emotional and mental response. Do you feel safe enough to tell us what you got upset over?
My back's been hurting a lot.
Physical stuff is a little bit different, but most of us, that's not what we get upset about.
Well, I mean, for me, it's not really the back, it's the thoughts that come around with the back pain, you know what I mean? Like the sort of catastrophizing, whatever, like
Yeah.
worrying, like putting it into the future, like, oh, this is maybe never getting better, blah, 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 blah.
Well, and for that, again, the body, that's a toughie. That's kind of put on another realm. But do you get upset over finances? Do you get upset over relationship? Do you get upset over politics or anything like that?
Sure, yeah.
What's one of the things you got upset over?
Well, I mean, I get upset about, I think about being alone, it'd be nice, maybe it'd be nice if I had a partner or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how's that working out for you?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's not.
Has
Not
the
happening.
worry and the longing helped you find a partner?
No, not at all.
Have you had partners in the past?
Yes,
And how did that work out
not
for you?
so great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, in certain ways, yes, in certain ways, no. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. You keep thinking, oh, then next, you could.
Be different this time.
Yeah, be different this time, right?
Yeah.
There's-
You and I are not kids, Jessica.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, so the idea is let it go. Your serenity, your peace is not dependent. Now, the truth of all partnerships is they're hard work. All of them. When I used to work for the Catholic Church, I remember This one couple, they'd been married 60 years. My boss, Father Mark, asked the woman, have you ever thought of divorce? And she says, divorce? No. Murder? Yes. It's hard work. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting married, but if you have an unrealistic expectation, having a partner's going to solve all my problems, then I'll be complete. That's just hooey. And the opposite is true. Oh, I don't ever want to be in a relationship. I want to be free. That's not freedom either. Nothing in this world has anything to do with real serenity. Is that useful?
Yeah, so the real serenity, where does that?
Accepting life on life's terms. Meaning, if I can let go of my need for it to be different. If I can come to a place, this is the little meditation I would give myself. What if it's going to be like this for the rest of eternity? What if you're going to be single and alone for the rest of eternity? How are you going to deal with it? Might as well make peace with it. Then go be useful, be happy. But it's not having the partner that's going to make you happy. It's getting rid of the jonesing, getting rid of the longing. There are times, I bet, when you're engaged in some activity and you don't think about getting a partner.
Oh, no, I mean, it gets less and less and less.
But the point is, even when it's happening as something in your life, it's not 24/7.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So it's very clear
Yeah,
that it comes and goes.
right.
I was talking with a fellow earlier this morning. He's a nurse, he makes a good living, but he has yet to learn the fundamental fact of money.
Mhm.
The fundamental fact of money. I think most of you have probably learned it. If you spend more than you make, you're going to be in deep doo-doo. Period. Oh, what about credit cards and debt and stuff like that? Knock yourself out, but eventually it catches up to you. Who's learned that lesson the hard way? It's so simple. And you have two choices: make more or spend less. Duh! But some of us take decades to learn it. This fellow is not there yet because he makes a lot of money, about $90 an hour, maybe even more as a nurse. Well, his hip's bothering him. And he's had a hip replacement already. Oh my God, I think this is gonna need another hip replacement. And then, oh, I'm gonna have to have surgery and then recovery. And then I only get like 2/3 of my income and yada, yada, yada. And I just bought a new truck. And then I was going to get training to do this next level of expertise in this field. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? All of it he made up. What he knows for sure is he doesn't know what's wrong with his hip. Well, gee, maybe you ought to go get an x-ray. And you're fine today, even though your hip hurts. You're not in financial crisis today. But can you see how the mind moves into the future with all these stories? Is that making sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we have to develop the practice turn the mind away from it. And let's take up the next idea because it tells us how we should point the mind. Next idea.
The created duality will not intrude upon our perception if we consistently reflect upon the Brahman, which is unborn, changeless.
So, Shankara says, Brahma Satyam Jagan Nitya. Brahman, or myself, my essential nature, which is birthless, changeless, deathless, complete, is already there. I don't need to achieve it, acquire it, attain it. All I need to do is pay attention to it and let go of the extroversion of the mind. Forget the world. Turn the attentive faculty, the mind's light, toward its source. Who am I? Or the way the author of The Cloud of Unknowing expresses it. Put a cloud of forgetting between you and the world. Cloud of unknowing between you and God. I'm trying to figure it out. Keep turning the mind's eye towards its source. Let the world go. Now, of course, when we're involved in the world with our job or housekeeping or anything like that, the mind takes care of business. He's talking here about what we do in meditation. Next idea.
That was the end of the verse.
All right, any thoughts about this very important, very subtle stuff? Next, Karika.
Laye sambodhaye chittam vishiktam shamayet punaha sakashayam vijaniyat sampraptam na chalayet. In the state of this oblivion, we again awaken the mind. When agitated, we pacify it. In between, we understand that the mind is full of desires, yet unmanifested but full of potency. If the mind has reached the state of perfect equilibrium, then do not disturb it again.
Again, more instructions on meditation. So we'll parse this one again. So the first idea.
In the state of this oblivion, we again awaken the mind.
So the term here is laya. Now, we actually get this term with a different meaning in Ashtavakra Gita. But what he means here, he's borrowing the term from yoga. Manolaya is when the mind moves towards unconsciousness. Now, this is a particular pitfall that can be afflicting people, I'm not kidding, for decades. Do you meditate? Oh, yes, I meditate. I sit in my lazy boy and I lean back. I smoke a joint. And I put on the new age music. And I'm just gone. Feels so good. This is not meditation, this is laya. When the mind moves towards unconsciousness. It feels thick and kind of heavy. It's like being on the edge of sleep. If you're meditating, you will notice it if you're sitting up, is your body will collapse. There are Zen traditions where you sit facing a wall with your eyes open. And you can tell you're moving into Laya because your eyes are closed. So the opposite of Laya, the mind in meditation, is when it is silent, but vigilant and alert. We've talked a bit about this before. If you have a cat and they're poised to pounce on a moth or a fly, so quiet, motionless, totally attentive. So if you have the problem of falling asleep in meditation, here Gaudapada says you need to wake the mind up. Another tool, if you use a mantra, say your mantra louder in your mind. You say it louder in your mind, don't worry, you will not disturb the person next to you. Give it something to focus on. Next idea.
When agitated, we pacify it.
Okay, so the thing to do is we do not want to get caught up in the theme of our thinking. Story. Agitated mind is dependent on us thinking about stuff, which then causes us to feel stuff. Things to watch out for. In your meditation, are you having a conversation with someone who's not in the room? Are you rehashing some event from the past? Are you going through some story in the future? Are you planning the menu for dinner? Are you worrying about how you're going to fix the broken light fixture? Meditation is not a time to problem solve. When you find your mind doing that, gently bring it back, either to your point of meditation or focusing your attention on the self. Stephen, do you have any things you discovered on your retreat that might have been helpful for this kind of thing?
I come back to the breath.
Yep, very good.
And I do, if I'm the sense of my tilting or kind of that nodding off, I go into a deeper sense of breath, and then longer exhales to kind of give more energy to the system.
Great. Next idea.
In between, we understand that the mind is full of desires, yet unmanifested, but full of potency.
So, when you sit, you hear me say this all the time, just don't do something, sit there. But our vasanas, our desires exist largely at the unconscious level. Meditation is like rolfing your mind. Now you have a rolfer, right?
Mhm.
Okay, what do?
They do deep tissue work. It's painful.
And it's painful. And when you walk into the session, do you have pain necessarily?
No.
And then what happens?
Then he gives me pain.
No, he releases.
He
pain.
releases pain. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not aware of knots and strictures in the body when you walk in.
No.
But when he starts going, so many times when you're on a meditation retreat, deep fears may arise that aren't even hooked to anything. Or lust will arise. I can remember a fellow who was on a retreat and he was just convinced that one of the people on the staff hated him. Mind you, there was no real conversation or interaction, silent retreat. What else has arisen out of the unconscious for you in long meditation retreats? You guys have done long ones.
Like lust, for sure, I think. Big one, fear.
Suppressed memories.
Yes. Say that again.
Suppressed memories.
Yeah. Especially if there's been trauma.
Now that's something. Thank you for saying that. I've noticed that old memories that are completely forgotten pop up more often now. Is that part of this?
Absolutely.
Ah,
Absolutely.
it'll just like, oh God, totally no remembering at all. Not bad, just, oh, interesting.
But there must have been some energy on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just let it arise and you be present to it. And then what happens?
Goes away.
It goes away. This is what we call the unloading of the unconscious. What do I do about them? Just don't do something, sit there. Going on.
If the mind has reached the state of perfect equilibrium, then do not disturb it again.
So after a time, I can't tell you how long, usually in a meditation session, it takes most people at least 20 minutes to settle down. Now listen carefully. If in a half an hour, 40 minutes, or an hour, you have 2 or 3 minutes total of complete equilibrium and quiet. You're doing very, very well. Do not have an unrealistic expectation. In this equilibrium, first, there's a tremendous sense of peace and contentment. And it proves to the mind that I don't need phenomenal objects. When all the ignorance has arisen and been released, then the no thingness of my essential nature becomes very clear. And as Shankara says, Chidhananda Rupa, my nature is bliss consciousness. Shivoham, Shivoham, I am Shiva, which means consciousness, I am auspicious. And then the mind will start thoughting again. No blame, no problem. You don't go away. You then become the illuminator of thought, feeling, perception. Going on.
That's the end of it.
All right, next verse.
नास्वाद्येत सुखं तत्र निसंग प्रज्ञया भवेत् निश्चलं निश्चराचित्तम् एकीकुर्यात् प्रयत्नतः. Mind should not be allowed to enjoy the bliss that is eked out of the condition of samadhi. It should be freed from attachment to such happiness through a steady exercise of discrimination. If the mind, once having attained the state of equanimity, seeks to rush out into the external objects, then it should be unified with the self again with self-effort.
Okay, so this is a very subtle one. Let me preface this by, you cannot renounce anything you haven't got. Swami Tejomayananda used to illustrate this by saying, I woke up this morning and I renounced being president of the United States. It's foolishness. So when the mind reaches the state of equanimity, it's very blissful. This is samadhi. Here Gaudapada says, now even let go of attachment to that. Why? Because samadhi is a mind state. It's the mind state of no mind. It comes and goes. It varies in depth and intensity. And if you start craving it, then it becomes like trying to step on the head of your shadow. See? He's not saying that the bliss of samadhi is bad. He's saying that it's a paradox. It's like when a bird flies into your hand. If you go to grasp, just like that. And in the end, the presence or absence of the thoughting mind makes no difference. Supreme detachment is where peace comes from. Now, some of us can get very attached to the Shakti, to the bliss. Start focusing on that. Frequently, that'll be those people who get attached to a powerful guru. Self-inquiry's gone. I just want to go be with Babaji or Amaji. I can get high. All right, next idea.
Should I read the verse from the beginning?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mind should not be allowed to enjoy the bliss that has eked out of the condition of samadhi. That's the first idea. It should be freed from attachment to such happiness through a steady exercise of discrimination.
So it's a mind state. It comes and goes. It varies in intensity. Don't be attached. Next idea.
If the mind, once having attained the state of equanimity, seeks to rush out into the external objects, then it should be unified with the self again with self-effort.
Yeah. So if the mind starts to extrovert into the world in meditation, meaning I start thinking about people, places, things, and conditions, it may take some effort. Over and over with patience, with steadfastness, no judgment. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm a terrible yogi. Or look at me, I'm doing pretty good today. Hot stuff. Let all that stuff go. It's the simple, poised mind. Is that the end of that verse?
Yeah.
Next one. Isn't this good stuff?
Yada na liyate chittam na cha vikshipyate punaha aninganam anabhasam nishpannam brahma tattada. Stripped of its state of trance and its state of desire agitations. That is to say, when the mind becomes quiet and does no more raise apparitions of thoughts, then it verily becomes Brahman.
So, in Tripura Rahasyam, the mind is defined as prakasha, light, light of awareness, plus vimarsha. Vimarsha is deliberation or thoughting. Remove all of the vimarsha, and all that's left is the prakasha, the light. Swamiji would illustrate this point by what he called spiritual algebra. So I'm going to write on the back of the blackboard so you can see the front. Mind, capital M, equals A, awareness, plus T, F, thought flow. You all see the equation? Now, basic algebra, if I take the TF and I move it to the other side of the equal sign, what do I have to do to it? Make it negative. Mind minus TF, thought flow, equals pure awareness. I have a thought. I have a feeling. I have a perception. Do I have awareness? No.
You are awareness.
You are awareness. I can see a thought. I can see a feeling. I can see a sense object. I do not see awareness. Am awareing. You see the difference?
Yeah.
So the mind, minus all its inertia, perception, feeling, thought, memory, imagination, etc., is Brahman. Once you see this, once you grasp it, when are you ever not you? You cannot lose yourself. In the end, it's the simple awareness of the most ordinary waking state. Who sees the phone? That's yourself. Now, you may not know what that self is. What doesn't work is, Jim, I'm going to do lots of yoga so I can realize the self, which is up there in the sky or transcendental or something. But the self is other than me. My problem is on that constant, eternal, direct experience, I superimpose all sorts of nonsense. Root being I am the body. But my direct experience is, let's prove it. Do you see the bowl on the table? Are you a bowl? No. Take a deep breath. Do you not know the breath in the body the same way you know the bowl? Or Cheska, do you have an ache or a pain right now?
No.
Well,
Pretend you do.
yeah.
Yeah, yes, yes.
But do you not know the pain in the body?
Yes, I do.
So there's a knower and the pain which is known. You are not the pain. You are not the body. Who are you? So here Gaudapada has given us these incredibly valuable aids to meditation. And this is 1400 years old. Probably written around 600, the Kamala. So immediate and practical today. All right, next one.
Swastham shantam sanirvana akatyam sukhamuttamam ajam ajena gyeyena sarvagnyam parichakshate. This highest bliss is based upon the rediscovery of the self. It is peace identical with liberation, indescribable and unborn.
Yeah.
It is further described as the omniscient Brahman, for it is one with the unborn self, which is the object of the knowledge absolute.
Yes. So this is the highest knowledge and realization. This is nirvana, as he says here in this. Nirvana literally means blown out. It's not a place that you go to like the Christian heaven. Oh, when I die, I'm going to go to nirvana. It's next to Florence. No. It's the state of mind that is free from the flame of jonesing. The fuel is all the vasanas. The fuel is the sense objects which feed into the mind, which is burning, burning, burning with desire. This is what the Master Jesus meant. My peace I give you, not as the world gives. A peace that passes all understanding. Peace be with you. When all our striving cease. When I know that the self in me is birthless, changeless, deathless, without qualities, and always safe. And I know the happiness that I've been longing for is just the mind freed from its craving, from its attachment. At this point, Swamiji would say, hurry home, hurry home. Let the mind come home. The peace that passes all understanding. And this self in me is the witness that is pure awareness. I experience as I and God, they are the same thing. I am Atma, Brahma, this self is Brahma. Not some self that's floating around in the sky. But you. Does that end this chapter?
No, there's one more.
Okay.
Na kaschida jayate, na kaschid jayate jiva, sambhavosya na vidyate, etaduttamam satyam, yatra kinchana jayate. No jiva, the egocentric, separative creature, is ever born. There does not exist any cause which can produce them as its effect. This Brahman is that highest truth where nothing is ever born.
Yes. So he ends this chapter reaffirming the teaching of ajati, unborn. I don't become immortal. I don't merge into God. My egocentric personality doesn't become a super goody-goody. But I realize I've always been free. Just like when you awaken from the dream ego doesn't, through its achievements, become a waker. I realize, oh, how weird, what a vivid dream. I thought I was fill in the blank. But in truth, I'm here in my bed. So also at the moment of realization, I don't become an enlightened person. You think you're an enlightened person, you're a fool. That's just a more pleasant dream. No, you are Brahman. No, you are that ground being. No, this phenomenal world, like a dream. Seen, but not real. All right, perfect place to end. He's got good timing. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari